This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. MNC. On News Talk 95.3, 101.9 FM, and 1340 AM, your MNC Nation station.
Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday. It is July the 9th, 2024. I'm John Zibney, the MNC News Center. And the news getting started now with our top local stories. Elkhart Police are investigating a crash that happened between a vehicle and a pedestrian.
It happened at a downtown parking garage. The investigation shows that a two-vehicle crash happened on the upper deck of the parking garage when a Ford Explorer, driven by a 71-year-old woman, rear-ended a Honda Civic, then pulled forward and ran over the leg of a 57-year-old male pedestrian who was not involved in the first vehicle crash. Medics transported the man to the hospital for treatment of serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the Explorer remained at the scene and cooperated with investigators, though the investigation is still ongoing and no arrests have yet been made. Alyssa Foster, MNC News.
The LaGrange County Sheriff's Office helped catch two alleged child abuse suspects wanted in Michigan.
A tip from the LaGrange County Sheriff's Office late last month led to the arrest of 46-year-old Jesse Lee Stone and 38-year-old Stephanie Nicole Stone in Michigan by the Van Buren County Sheriff's Office. The couple, who operated an in-home daycare on M40, were charged with child abuse, though at this point authorities don't believe the daycare children were victims. Both face charges of child abuse. Jesse Stone also faces charges of criminal sexual conduct. Derek Decker, MNC News.
Turning to Michiana's election headquarters, a candidate denied access to Indiana's GOP primary ballots, now appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Our news gathering partners at Indiana Capital Chronicle report John Rust has filed a 217-page petition challenging Indiana's ballot access laws, which he claims disenfranchise most Hoosiers. Rust argues the law unfairly benefit political party bosses and limit voter choices. The Indiana Election Division blocked his candidacy in March, citing party affiliation rules. Rust expects a decision by fall.
That's Joe Ullery reporting. 2 adults and a child were injured in a shooting at Pokagon State Park. Conservation officers got a call late on Saturday night about shots fired near the toboggan run. Police say a fight broke out between two men that led to one shooting the other in the leg. A 9-year-old girl was near that fight and apparently had a bullet fragment strike her. Also had to be rushed to the hospital. Healthcare costs, education, and artificial intelligence. Just a few of the several topics that lawmakers will be looking at closely this summer.
Before the legislative session gets started in January, lawmakers explore and identify things like policy issues that could come up, and they try to work together in summer study committees. Republican House Speaker Todd Houston of Fishers is looking forward to these committees meeting.
I'm grateful to have a deep bench of talented and knowledgeable members who I know will work hard to find solutions to the challenges facing Hoosiers, because that's what our constituents expect and deserve.
And if there's something you're concerned about, he says you can attend and speak your mind at these committee hearings. John Herrick, Network Indiana.
95.3 MNC watching your money. The housing affordability gap for Indiana's minimum wage workers is growing. That's according to the latest Out of Reach report.
The study shows that those Hoosiers at $7.25 per hour would need to work 122 hours per week to afford a fair market rate 2-bedroom apartment. At a normal 40 hours, workers would need $33.07 per hour. The findings included data on all 50 states and concluded that Indiana had dropped fine terms of affordability between 2021 and last year. Morgan Hopkins, MNC News.
Chokeholds are back in the arsenal of all Indiana police.
A new use of force policy was established by the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy.
I want to be clear that the use of a chokehold is only applicable in a situation that would allow for the officer to use deadly force.
Executive Director Tim Horty saying he understands there is a gray area for what's considered deadly force, and the Academy is open to changing the rule as the law changes in the future. Mike Wilson, MNC News.
And the food bank in Northwest Indiana is facing a surge in demand for food assistance despite the end of the pandemic.
The facility serves about 60,000 people monthly in Lake and Porter counties. CEO Victor Garcia says food banks operate differently from food pantries and soup kitchens by sourcing food through donations, government programs, and bulk purchases to supply local agencies.
If you think of that food pantry at your local house of worship as a grocery store, and you think of a soup kitchen as a restaurant, our core business as food banks is to be the supplier to those agency partners.
Garcia says before the pandemic, the food bank conducted 2 mobile distributions weekly, serving about 4,000 people a month. During the pandemic, this spiked to 6 distributions weekly, serving 14,000 people. Heather Starr, MNC News.
A suspect's been arrested and charged after a robbery that happened last Wednesday at the Notre Dame Federal Credit Union on Portage Avenue in South Bend. Shortly after that incident, police found 38-year-old David Hatmaker outside a nearby business and also identified him as the suspect in an earlier car theft at a local dealership. He was arrested near the stolen car with a large sum of cash, also suspected meth in a syringe. He now faces charges of robbery, auto theft, possession of meth, and unlawful possession of a syringe. Well, Michigan's population saw a very slight increase last year, but the state's southwestern area, there was a small decline.
Berrien, Van Buren, and Cass counties shrank by 0.1 percentage point, losing a total of 280 residents. There were actually slight increases in Van Buren and Cass, but losses in the more populated Berrien County dragged the number down for the region. WSJM reports that Berrien County's population losses have been the 7th largest of the 83 counties in the state. The 3-county region has experienced a 0.6 percentage point decrease since 2020. David Shea, MNC News.
A Westville man was killed in a crash on State Road 2 in LaPorte County. It happened early yesterday morning near County Road 500 West. Police say the driver of a 2015 Kia was traveling westbound. The vehicle left the road, then crashed into a tree at the intersection. 62-year-old George Dobus was found inside the vehicle and died at the scene. Factors into that crash are still being investigated. MDOT's performing maintenance on 6 bridges this summer, all along US 31 and one on M139. The 139 bridge over the St. Joe River is first, with work lasting about 5 to 10 days. The US 31 bridges should take about a week each, and one lane of traffic will stay open in each direction. All the work's expected to be done by October and at a cost of $476,000. And if your child is a big fan of Bluey, here's a reason for them to say hooray.
They will soon have the chance to see the beloved cattle dog for real life. Bluey and his sister Bingo will bring Bluey's Big Play to the Morris Performing Arts Center in South Bend on Tuesday, August 20th at 6 p.m. The theatrical adaptation of the Emmy Award-winning kids show features an original story and new music. Tickets to see the Little Healers for their first live show are on sale now at the box office and at morriscenter.org. Tommy Lee, MNC News.
Mostly cloudy skies. Rain showers develop and move in through the day today. Heavy rain is possible this afternoon and this evening. High temperatures right around 80 degrees. Tonight we drop down to 65. Heavy rain possible. And then into tomorrow we'll see rain in the morning, starting to taper off in the afternoon with high temperatures at 72. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
You can get the top local news delivered to your email twice each day, 7 in the morning and 4:30 in the afternoon, and it's completely free. To get signed up, go to 953mnc.com and click where it says On Demand.
Podcasts by Federated Media.